So one of the things that I wanted to share tonight, start off with, was 3 mistakes to avoid in the month of May. Let's get right into that. I think it's going to be good. And then I'm going to take some questions. We're going to have an announcement, going to have a good time. But 3 mistakes that a lot of people make in the month of May. And it may not be mistakes that you've heard before. And so maybe not put in this way. So hang tight. Here we go. You ready? This is unusual, but I want to say it. It's a mistake that people make in the month of May, and it is micromanaging your bees. Oh, you thought you'd never hear that from me, right? People, I want to tell you, a lot of beekeepers are micromanaging their bees in the month of May to the detriment of their bees. So let's jump right into that and talk about that. So first of all, in the month of May, people are really worried. Overwintered colonies, beekeepers are worried about their overwintered colonies, and new beginners are worried about their brand new colony. Let me explain. Let's start with the new beginner, then we'll get into the experienced beekeeper. The new beginner is worried about their bees because they just got them. They're brand new to beekeeping. They're not sure if they're doing everything quite right. You know how it goes, and we'll cut everybody some slack because we were all new beginners, but you start off and you start thinking, I know I took a class, I read a book, I watched a video, and now I can't remember. Was I supposed to do this before or after? 1 day or 10 days? Do I flip it upside down? It's so many things to think about, and it can be really confusing. And so a lot of new beginners begin to micromanage their bees. I find it quite often, quite frequent, that beekeepers are in their hives way too much as new beginners, way too often, way too much and way too often. Just can't stay out of it. It's too much fun. I love going in my hives. I love checking them again. They're so nice. It's so small. They're so gentle. And I want to show everybody that I'm a beekeeper, and I'm going to show them my hives again. I'm going to go back into them tonight. Here's what I mean by micromanaging. Very common is when a new beginner, sometimes an experienced beekeeper, will look for something in their hive and they don't see it, like the queen, or maybe they're looking for eggs, looking for typical things. They don't see it. They're worried. Now they have to get right back in there right away. I don't think that's the best thing to do. Look, if you're looking for your queen and you can't find her on May the 15th, don't go back in there on May the 16th. Just hold your horses. Don't micromanage it. Settle down. You didn't see her today. Okay, fine. Wait at least 3 to 5 days to go back again. Why not? You want things to change. You want something to be different. If it was a virgin queen, then in 3 days or 5 days when you go back, she would have already completed her mating flights. And I did say plural flights. Sometimes virgin queens will take more than one nuptial mating flight during their first few days of trying to become mated. And so if you go out there today and she's on a mating flight, you missed her. Then you go out there tomorrow, she's on another mating flight and you missed her. Then you're going to buy another queen and put her in there, and they're going to kill your bought queen because they're already got a queen going. She's getting mated. So that's what I mean by micromanaging it. You don't want to get so worried and so tense about it that I got to go back in there and see what do they do today? It's only been 24 hours. There's not much difference. So spend some time waiting. Also, so give your hives time to get organized, especially you new beginners. If you're starting out with a new nucleus, or if you're starting out with a package, look, don't jump in there too often. They need to get started. They need to get organized. Okay. Give them a week or so to get organized. Try to inspect no more than once a week or once every 2 weeks on a new package. They're not going to swarm on you. You don't need to look for swarm cells. So, don't have to look that often. Give them time just to get organized. Now, the second mistake that beekeepers make in the month of May is mismanagement of the hive equipment. Now, mismanagement of the hive, we always refer to the hive as the woodenware, the boxes, the frames, the queen excluder, the top, the bottom. That's the hive. The colony makes up the bees. So when I say mismanagement of the hive, I mean all the boxes. This is a biggie. A lot of new beginners and sometimes old timers that have been doing it a long time still don't understand the concept of when to add boxes to hives. And there's a lot of debate on that. You know, some people run single deeps and they don't ever have to add a box unless it's a super. But in most cases, a lot of you are running 2 deeps like I am. And when you start out, you want to always start out only in 1 box with a new or a new package. Don't start them out in 2 boxes because that's just too much room. If they have small hay beetle or some wax moths lurking around and you're using drawn comb and all, then they can't police all those frames. That's going to be 20 frames in there. Keep it down to 10 or 8, whatever size box you're using, frames, and then let them grow. Let them grow. Now, I always like to say, let the hive expand to 5 to 7 frames in a single box before you add the next box. And that counts all the way up the stack. Whether you use, if you're using the 8 frame or 10 frame, whether you're adding a super or another brood box, let it run to 5 to 7. And by drawn out, make sure those 5 to 7 frames are drawn out with wax and they have bees on them and whatever resources are brewed in those frames. Once they get 5 to 7 of those drawn out, then you can add the next box. Once that next box has 5 to 7 drawn out with bees on it, you can add your honey supers above that. Now, some of you may be asking, well, I'm getting a nucleus that already has 5 frames roaring. What do I do? Well, it should be fine. I usually tell people if you get a nuke with 5 frames, put it in a deep, and then you need to wait about a week before you add that second box. And always, I like to tell everyone that if you want to add that second box above your brood box, you're adding it as another brood box. Take out one of the frames that has open larvae on it and put it in the top box. That will allow your bees to go up there and get started in that upper box. You're kind of baiting that upper box. Now, down below where you took that frame out, be sure and put another frame down there. It can be drawn or undrawn foundation. So adding boxes is a big boo-boo mistake that a lot of beekeepers make. They either don't add enough boxes and they keep them in a single deep and they crowd out and swarm their first year as a package or a nuke, or they add too many at once. They put a package in 2 deeps and a super, and it just, I don't know, demoralizes the bees, and they don't want to work and pull out the frames or something. So let's let them work on a limited number of frames before we keep adding more. And so another part of this mismanagement mistake is that a lot of people play around with a brood area. Now, if you've got a overwintered colony and it's got 3 or 4 brood, frames in the middle, and you're a very experienced beekeeper, you know what you're doing, you can probably get away with checkerboarding. I'll use that term loosely. You could probably put a undrawn foundation or maybe some drawn empty foundation between the brood area. But I highly recommend that you don't change the brood area. I really do. Don't take those 5 frames that have brood on it in the middle of your hive and start swapping those around. Don't take a frame of brood and put it against the wall, for example, and put another honey frame in the middle of the brood area. Keep your brood area organized how the bees want it. Very rarely are we going to do better or know more of how to organize those frames than the bees know, because they're the ones doing it and they're bees and we're not. And the final thing is, for the final third mistake that a lot of beekeepers make in the month of May, is that they fail to start integrated pest management, IPM. Now, integrated pest management should include things like a green drone comb. You should put that green drone comb in there on a new package, on a new nucleus, or on your overwintered colony as it grows. Let's keep cycling out those green drone combs and trap mites. Let's start that now. That should be going on in the month of May heavily. Your mite test, that should be going on right now. Now, I know you got a new package. You usually want to wait a couple of weeks, at least a couple of weeks before you do a mite test, especially alcohol wash, because you're killing 300 bees, and bees are dying anyway of old age in that package. So in 3 weeks, they're going to have more bees. So don't do it before 2 to 3 weeks. Let them get a generation going, and do a mite test for your overwintered colony and your nucleuses. You can start testing your mites right away. Get a handle on that. Please don't wait. Don't put that off. Don't start thinking, I'll deal with that a month before winter. That's not how it works. Mites aren't the problem. It's the viruses they spread. So if you let the mites build up in the next few months before winter, the viruses stick around even though you kill mites. So keeping your mite levels low keeps the virus levels low. So those are the 3 tips that I wanted to give you guys tonight in the month of May. Let me go through them real quick again for those of you just dropping in. Thanks for watching, by the way. Try not to micromanage your bees. Don't get in there every single hour, play around with them. You're going to overdo them. Secondly, don't mismanage your hive equipment boxes. Don't put your package in all 3 of your boxes, and don't keep them in a single box too long. Manipulate your frames carefully. And number 3, don't fail to start your integrated pest management, controlling your mites and your small hive beetle. Get on top of all those things in the month of May. If you don't, the month of June is going to be really tough when these things get out of control. All right, that's three great tips for the month of May, mistakes to avoid. Very good. Hey, I want you guys to leave a comment. Are you listening? Everybody pay attention. I want you to leave a comment today. And that is, I want you to leave a comment. Here you go. I want you to answer this question. Are you ready? What's one thing that you wish someone would have told you before you started beekeeping? What's the one thing? Now, just one thing. Don't give us 10 things. Go ahead and fill up the chat area. What's the one thing you wish someone would have told you before starting beekeeping? And we'll start putting those comments up for all of us to see, because once you get into beekeeping, there's always that, man, I wish somebody would have told me that one thing. It would have made it so much easier. I'll be putting my green. It's expensive. It's very expensive. Beekeeping is not cheap. You can do it on the cheap, but it's no fun. It costs money. How to add boxes. Well, good. Glad you're on the live stream. That's great. Yeah, that's not often said. New beekeepers aren't told sometimes how to add boxes. How much drama and expense beekeeping involves. That is so true. Drama. Oh my gosh, I can't find my queen. How to overwinter. Yeah, that's a tough one. Not everybody knows how to do it, so they can't tell you how to do it either. Oh, these are good comments you guys are leaving. I love it. That's cool. The hardest part is starting the smoker. That not a lot of time is spent teaching people how to start the smoker. You're right. Oh, that's a good one. I like that one. Don't be surprised that you will lose bees every year. That's a good thing. Yep. Very good. 50% of bees are lost every year. Even if you do everything you can, 50% can still be lost. That needs to be told to new beginners. That's so true. Yeah. We're leaving comments on what's the one thing you wish people would have told you before you started beekeeping. How hot it could get in those bee suits. Oh my gosh, good one. All the issues that occur with queens. Absolutely. Absolutely. Queen issues. Yeah. These are things we overcome with time and keeping bees, and we get smarter, we work harder. We can overcome these problems that arise, all these challenges. How heavy the hives and supers will be. Oh my gosh. Raise your hand if your back hurts when you pick up a big deep box full of honey and such. Oh, very addictive. Absolutely. There goes the money. There goes all the free time. We're playing in the hives again. Oh, we got to give a shout out to Leah, my daughter-in-law, and Vera is watching. Favorite part of Thursday, catching Papa's live. Hi, Nana. Love you, Vera, Leah, and Seth. Hey, love you guys too. Thanks for watching. Still going to have you guys on the live stream because everybody here loves Vera. All right. That's wonderful. Yeah. There's a lot of stuff I wish people would have told me how addicting it is. Boy, it is addicting. Yeah. Yep, it sure is. It's so much fun. Things you enjoy, you start spending a lot of time with, and before long, you just can't get enough of it. You got to have more of it. All the issues with queens. Yep, saw that one already. Yeah, always a queen issue. I've got to check some hives now, making sure their queens are okay. Been making some splits and making sure those queens are getting mated and taken off and everything. Yep, very good. All the pests. That's right. All the diseases, all the pests that we have to battle. Yeah, sometimes people don't tell you that, especially if you take certain kind of really short, simple 1 hour courses at different places. They only tell you the simple things like take bees, throw them in a box, check on them. They don't tell you, they don't get into details sometimes in a real quick course. So that's important too. All right. Well, that's probably enough for tonight, but I did want to give you guys a chance to share with us what's the one thing you wish somebody would have told you before you started beekeeping. And you can go ahead and let your questions rip tonight. We do have a giveaway. No, let's do our giveaway now before questions, okay? I don't want to fill up the comment section yet with the questions. So we're going to do a giveaway tonight. Here it is. It's going to be the book that John Zavishlak and I wrote, Raising Quality Queens, booklet. If you haven't really seen this, it is available for free online if you want to download it and print it yourself, or you can get the color book version of it. And we're also including in this giveaway a little dial so that you can calculate the timing of raising your queens, when to take them out of the starter hive, when to put them in the finishing hive, when they should emerge, and when after you graft and all that. It's going to keep all your timeline for you. It's a big, heavy-duty metal dial that you roll. So we're going to include that tonight. That's going to be our first giveaway. Let's go ahead and get our giveaway started and on screen. So let's start collecting comments. It's going to be #Queen, Queen, #Queen. And that #Queen will get you a chance to win in this drawing that'll be coming up here in a minute. And it won't really help if you enter more than once, and it doesn't need to be capital Q, needs to be lowercase q. Robbie, can you? Yep, there you go. Very good. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. All right, we've already got some entries that are being collected here for our booklet. By the way, raising queens can catapult you in beekeeping. Now, wait a minute. I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, I'm not good enough to keep queens or raise queens. I kind of know the feeling, but you'll never be good enough until you start. And believe me, if I can do it, anybody can do it. It's not that hard, and you got nothing to lose. Get a little 5-frame nuke box, start experimenting, get our booklet on raising quality queens. John and I wrote this just for people that didn't know anything about what in the world they were doing with queens. And so we thought we'd put this book together with pictures, show you how to graft, give you all the timeline and everything. And it's been a very popular book. We actually sell a lot of these books every week. It's amazing. And so be sure and try to get a free one tonight. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go ahead. We've got quite a few people. Let's go ahead and draw and see who our winner is tonight. Who is going to win tonight? The Queen book. Wow, there they go off and... That's great. Miller's Be Kind Farm. There you go. All right. You're the winner tonight. Congratulations. You won our book on raising quality queens. And if you are sad because you didn't win, again, you can order this from our website, or you can get it free, a downloadable PDF online. I can't tell you where it is. I think but it's probably at the University of Arkansas on their website. But you can get a copy of this book too. All right, so that's fun. Thank you for playing. We've got another giveaway coming up, so don't go too far away tonight. Another giveaway coming up. You're going to love that. Bobblehead David is here tonight, by the way. You see him standing over there patiently saying, please subscribe. And I appreciate you guys subscribing, that you're watching. Give me a thumbs up for the live stream tonight as well. All right, so let's go ahead and dive in to questions and answers. Oh, yeah, you need to email us 24 hours after winning tonight. So whoever the winner was, be sure and email longlanehoneybees@gmail.com. we'll get this shipped out to you. Let us know your address. Okie dokie. What kind of good questions do you want to throw at me tonight? I love answering beekeeping questions. SJ, David, would you reuse the frames where wax moths actually messed up with built comb? Got some used frames, hives from a keeper nearby that has a lot of damage. Maybe clean it up before giving them. Absolutely. And you may not have watched my recent video where I actually put some wax moth damage frames in a hive. And guess what the bees did? Stayed clear of them. They didn't touch them. And I've read that and have known that quite a while, that if there's wax moth damage on a frame, especially a wax frame that's not totally annihilated, which is usually what wax moths do, then the bees just won't touch it. So you'll need to clean that up. And I made a video on how to do it. Just last video that I made, that's really doing well. I think it's got close to 8,000 views already since yesterday. So people are interested in that. So yeah, don't put those in there. Also, if it's drawn out comb and you got them from your neighbor, I'm scared. I'm a little worried that there could be harboring spores from American foul brood or whatever. In other words, you don't know why those frames are empty. What happened? Why are they empty? Why are you getting them? That means the bees aren't on them anymore. What happened to the bees that were on those frames? Now they can be clean. They could be okay, but still scared. Yeah, that's right. Oh, we don't have a store anymore, Jim. We closed our store. I'm actually sitting in the store. We turned it into a YouTube studio. We closed it during COVID and never opened our store again. All of our orders are placed online. So we've taken down our sign. And if you try to drive to our store, you'll see several signs that say no trespassing. All right, Gene, how are you tonight? Found a pupa in front of my hive with wings deformed. Okay. This was a 10-day-old nuke I received, so I'm thinking mites. I thought I would have to test for 21 days. Any thoughts? Yeah. Okay. It could be deformed wing virus. It could also mean that while they were pulling out, was it a drone? While they were pulling out the pupa, they could have damaged the wings while pulling it apart, trying to get it out of the cocoon, or trying to get it out of the cell, trying to drag it out. They could have damaged those wings. Deformed wing virus looks like somebody took a lighter and just melted the wings, burned them. There's kind of a difference. If you showed it to me, of course you can't. I could probably say, yep, that's deformed wing virus. But it could be deformed wing virus, which is oftentimes we think are spread by the mites. In that case, you do need to test for mites as soon as you can. Let's get a mite count on that, and you might need to start treating. Yeah. Nice that you observed that. By the way, Gene, you can see that maybe in 1 or 2 bees and no more. So it doesn't mean they're all going to look like that. I got a new package a little over a month ago. They have eggs, but I could not find the queen, and they have queen cells. One of them capped. What do I do? Well, it probably isn't that they're swarming, right? Are they crowded? If they're not swarming, you might as well let them raise that supersedure cell. That supersedure means that your queen gave up the will to keep going and they're replacing her. Now they could be swarming if you kept them in a smaller box, or they grew so fast that now they're crowded. It could be a swarm, but I'd check. Remember, swarm cells are on the lower part of the frame, lots of them. Supersedure cells kind of in the middle or upper part of the frame, and usually not so many at a time. Good question. Hey, David, new beekeeper getting medium nuke. Oh, really? You don't see many medium nukes. Most nukes are in deep boxes. I have made medium nukes before. Yeah. Just told the foundations are wax, and I have 8 frame boxes in plastic. When add 2 medium and bait, how do I use both plastic and wax? Well, don't worry about plastic. Intermix those wax and plastic. Don't worry about that. They'll be fine. No, let's don't micromanage the type of foundation. It'd be fine. But I just mentioned, in case you dropped in kind of late there, David, how to go about when to add those boxes. 5 to 7 frames drawn out in your 8 frame box. Maybe 5 to 6. I'd add that second deep, and then add that. Move the frame up with open larvae to get them baited up on that top one. Yep. It's not really rocket science. It's just, most of us have an instinct already built into us to know when we look at a box to go, ooh, I should add another one. That's kind of in our psyche anyway, right? You look at that and go, nah, they don't need another one yet. They're not doing as good as I want them to do. And then there's other times, oh my gosh, I should have added a second box a long time ago. Even if you're new to beekeeping, it's still not that hard to figure out. All right. Thank you for your donation tonight. Hey, I want to thank you guys for donating to the live stream tonight. It does take a lot of money to fund the cause. Got a lot of equipment running, cameras going, and our internet is extremely expensive here in the country. I'm not even going to say the amount because you would be ashamed that I'm spending that much on internet, but it's the only way we can do it. So thank you for your donations. Have you ever made a certain Viking-based adult drink? Sounds like need with your own honey. Oh, I see. Wording it that way due to family orientated channel. All right. Yep. There is a mead that is made by taking yeast and honey and water and adding them together and making, I think, the oldest known alcoholic drink ever. And so, yeah, I have made that. I haven't ever developed a taste for it, though. It's not really the flavor. I know you can add your own flavors to it. It's real fun to make. That was a lot of those questions. Not a lot. I had questions about this, how to do that on my master beekeeper test when I took my master beekeeper test in 2009 or 10. And we had to go through the whole process of exactly how you make honey mead. And a lot of beekeepers sell their honey to breweries that make honey mead. Yeah, that's good. All right. What other questions do we have tonight? I attempted to do a forced abscond, but bees weren't having it. Can you talk about how to do a trap out in a tree? Oh, I see. You're trying to get bees out of a tree. I have made a video about that, and it's still on YouTube. And I spent years extracting bees out of homes, businesses, diesel engines, barbecue grills, wherever a beehive can be, I've removed them from there. I had a great construction gentleman that worked with me. He was fabulous. We did that. We traveled out of his construction van. I've never seen anybody do as great a work as he has done. We would go to a property, extract out the bees. He would open them up for me. I'd take them out. He'd help me. And then he would put the house back together better than when we got there. But when it came to trees, we didn't touch them. There's too much liability. If you alter the tree, it could fall and crush a house or a car. But even if you're trying to lure bees out, I said in that video that I made a long time ago, can't do it. It's not going to happen. Some people said it can happen, but it's never happened for me. So I can't do it. Hey, we got a new member on our YouTube channel. We're up to about 70 members on our YouTube channel. So we want to thank you guys for joining my YouTube channel. It's a way of supporting everything that I do here on YouTube. So I really want to thank you guys for that. You're making a monthly donation and kind of propping me up, giving me a drink of water, kind of wiping my forehead to keep going. So thanks for joining the YouTube channel. Anytime you watch a video, right below it, it'll have a join button. Yep. So I want to tell you guys about, and I'm going to be speaking at the Illinois State Beekeepers Association. That's going to be coming up on June the 22nd. So those of you that live close by, you're going to make the trip over. ISBA, Illinois State Conference, is in Effingham, Illinois, kind of the center of the state. And going to be some speakers there, Greg Rogers, Larry Roth, and myself. And it's going to be all day Saturday. So it'll be a fun time. So if you're in the area, there's information you can pull off of here, phone numbers, even a website toward the bottom. I see it there. But anyway, you can just Google Illinois State Beekeepers Association and you'll get a link where you can sign up and come and join me, spend the day with me at the ISBA annual summer meeting, June the 22nd. I've got a lot of speaking engagements coming up out of state. I do a lot of out of state speaking as well. I've got some coming up real soon, and I think Michigan and New York and Iowa and Louisiana, and I can't remember anymore the rest of them. But I stay pretty busy speaking. Yep. All right. Let's have some more questions. Let's see what, oh yeah, we got good time here. Eat more beef. Wow. For a beekeeper with 6 hives, I don't understand testing for mites. Why not just treat? You know they are there, right? Yep, I know that the mites are there. Here's why you don't just treat. Now, listen, if you're not going to test come hell or high water, I understand, then you might just want to treat. But here's the benefit of testing, treating, and testing. One year, we had some Apivar strips that did not work. So had we not tested first, treated, and then tested to see how they worked, we would have never known they didn't work. And so you also, if you test first, you won't waste your money if your mite counts are 3 mites per 100 bees or less. You don't have to really treat yet. So you can save money. Mite treatments are expensive. So test, treat, and test gives you the benefit of saving money, knowing where you're at with mites, and knowing if your treatment works. Yep. That was a good question. Get that asked a lot. That's for sure. Oh, thank you for your donation, Tanya. Appreciate that so much. You guys are great to support the cause of the live stream tonight. I appreciate it. There's 2 things I love to see. Oh, 3 things I love to see on my live stream. I like to see you guys. That's paramount and foremost. I do this because of you. But I also love to see a lot of comments. I like to see the comments go by because I want to give Sherry and Jessica and Robbie a run for their money. So the faster the comments go by, they have to work harder. And I love that part. And thirdly, I do love it when you make a contribution. It's not so much that the money is make or break it, but it's just knowing that you believe in the cause that much that you're willing to put your hard-earned money behind something that you find value in. So that gives me a warm fuzzy. So thank you for all your donations tonight. It really does mean a lot. Appreciate it so much. I love you guys a lot. All right. What are the kind of questions you got tonight? Okay, Lou, how are you doing? Why would 3 of my hives swarm 2 weeks after I split them? Well, I'm wondering if you kept your same queen in the parent hive, and in that case, that the answer is clear, right? The mama bee, or the mama queen was still there, so it didn't take long at all for them to swarm with her. But let's assume that you did take away the queen, and yet 2 weeks later, they after you split, they still swarmed. It could be, reproduction. Do we need to talk? This is family friendly, by the way, but reproduction is an impossible thing to stop amongst all species, including honeybees. And so it sounds like they were just set on reproducing. 2 to 3 weeks later, they were able, after you made that split, to get an egg going, get a queen going, and away they went. It takes 16 days to raise a queen from an egg. So 2 weeks is 14 days is my guess. Hey, David and Sherry, how many hives do you need to be able to raise queens? Alexander, that's a good question. Obviously, you can raise queens from 1 hive, but you are going to need a starter nuke box, a 5-frame nucleus, unless you use special boards that you can do on a single hive. And I think I've used those boards before. We don't have one within reach. I do, but it's way up there. But I would say, depends on how many queens you want to raise. Boy, it's really raining hard. So if you want to raise more than a handful of queens a year, you're going to need more than 1 hive. But so it just kind of figure you're going to need a hive for about every 5 queens that you raise, roughly. Don't hold me to that. But the more hives you have, the more queens you can raise, because you got to shake nurse bees out of those hives to start that starter box. So it kind of just depends on how many queens you're going to raise. Absolutely. How many hive beetle traps per hive? And I'm hearing a lot of mixed answers. Where should I put the hive? Oh, I would love to answer this question. Here we go. Small hive beetle is a problem. They multiply extremely fast. Let's stay ahead of them. How many of the oil traps, I assume you're thinking of putting them between the frames? And I would say at least 2. Put them about 1 frame over from the wall. You'll see most of your small hive beetles, when you take the top off, they're going to be hanging out on those first frames against the wall in larger populations, right? About where the honey is and bee bread and all that. So if you put those traps over there, about one frame over. So between the first and second frame is a good place, and put one on each side. Now, I have had as many as 6 small hive beetle traps in one hive that was highly infested, and that did go a long way. Margaret, thank you for becoming a member of my YouTube team. All right, I appreciate that so much. Good job, guys. You need to turn the volume up on the sound effects a little bit. I couldn't hear those little kids clapping so much. I appreciate it, Margaret. Yeah, so let's go after those small hive beetles and let's stay ahead of those. Those oil traps do work really well. Don't spill the oil on bees. Oh my gosh, it'll kill bees too. So be careful. Yep, just answered that one. All right, Samuel. It's been really hot here. Notice bees crowding around the entrance a lot. I moved the entrance reducer to give them more space and more ventilation. How concerned about overheating should I be? Okay, Samuel, here's what I do. I assume you live in a place where summer is really hot right now. That's not the case yet where I live in Illinois. In fact, it was cold today. So you can take a quarter, 25-cent piece, put it between the box and your top cover. That's going to open up a little crack up above there. In the summertime when it's hot, allow extra ventilation. And then you can use a screen bottom board, open that up if you have that. But if not, you need to open up your lower entrance reducer maybe entirely, because they're going to really be hot and moist, and in there, moisture and humidity is going to be a problem. That's why bees start bearding on the outside during hot, humid nights. Half the colony seems like they spin down on the grass in front of your hive. If you don't vent it and have a screen bottom board or something, yeah, they're going to beard out there. You should be concerned about it. Yeah, they do their best to cool it by bringing in water, evaporative cooling. And so they try to cool it themselves, but it's hot. Can you also, let me give you one more great tip. Can you take a big piece of, like a half a sheet of plywood, a 4x4 or a piece of cardboard, put it on top of your hive and put a brick on it to hold it there. That's going to make shade all the way around your hive during the peak sunny part of the day. Wow, that's a great tip right there. Oh, I love doing that. That cools my bees down so much. It really does. Yeah, great question. Oh, yeah. How many hours should your hive been in the sun? I'm trying to find a good spot for the hive location on my property. Yeah, you know what? I've always had better luck with small hive beetle if my hives are more in the sun. The beetles just don't like the shade, or they love the shade. They don't like the sun that much. Most critters don't like direct sun. So I would highly recommend that you really keep your bees in the sun. Let me just say that I can see that it's raining extremely hard here, and I know that my internet may be weakening. I get a little notice there. Having trouble getting to the satellite. I'm trying to get my signal up to the satellite, but I'm being rained on by a storm. We're going to stay steady here. Hold our course, Captain. So, yeah, try to get them in as much sun as you can. I would say if you put them in the sun early where the rising sun hits them, they'll go to work early for you. So all the old books say you want dapple sunlight in the late afternoon. So it's cool if your bees can get a shade on them about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon by the west. But if you can't, direct sun, they can cool their hives pretty good. Not bad. Sally, after requeening a hot hive, how long will it take before it calms down and becomes gentle? The queen is an Italian hybrid, gentle and laying in her holding cage, and was accepted. Okay, congratulations. A hot hive, for those of you that are new, means that the bees are extremely defensive. Like you open it and bang, 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 bang on the screen of your veil, and they're climbing up your whatever hole that you have in your gear. They will find it and send 10 bees in there to sting you. And they're just constantly all over you. That's a hot hive. It takes about 45 days for that to calm down once you requeen it, because you need all the bees, the eggs that she laid. It's going to take from the egg until that bee grows up and dies about 45 days. So plan on 45 days and you should see a different progeny of that Italian hybrid gentle. Italian hybrid. Hybrid is usually, well, I won't get into that, but sometimes hybrids I've heard are more defensive. Like the longer a bee longer the queen or a hive keeps replacing their own queen, the longer that hybrid, it's called a hybrid, the longer they go like that, it can be more defensive. So I don't know. We'll see, huh? All right. I lost somebody. Jessica. All right. Well, we reached 500 people watching tonight. That's great. Thanks for sticking around, everybody. And took my time. We got plenty of time for questions. And Jessica's back. You dropped out for a minute, Jessica. So good to have you back. How many hours of direct sunlight? We did that a little bit. Always too much, maybe. I don't think it's ever too much. Kathy, new beekeeper, new bee boxes and 10 frames. Bees are building raised or wonky comb off the frames. Okay, Kathy, did you try coating your frames with extra wax? That usually prevents this from happening. It really does. If you can add a lot of wax to those plastic foundations, it can help. Make sure all the frames are tight together. Make sure the hive is completely level, north, south, east, and west. All of those things, frames are tight together, level the hive, add wax. If you've done all those things and they're still doing wonky comb, I know it happens to the best of us. The best thing you can do if you catch it early is keep smearing it back into the comb and make them do it right. Because if you wait too long, they'll pull one way out and it causes the next one not to be pulled out correctly either because they've got that big piece, in the way. Wonky comb. I need to make a whole video about wonky comb. Maybe I have. How do you know if it's okay to reuse a strong comb? From a colony that died from exposure to first poison, then spoiled syrup. Frames have a slight odor smell. Phil, I need a hive smells live class. Okay. If there's been any kind of exposure to poison on your frames, don't use them, please. Please don't. I wouldn't do it. Just not worth it. Too scary, too risky. Some of that has a half-life of billions of years. I don't know. Yeah. Anytime I hear that, I'm like, I'm not using those frames. Nope. Anytime I've had frames that I thought were not healthy for my bees, I just don't use them anymore. That's a good question, though. Hey, Jess, how long does it take for a small hive beetle to hatch and ruin your honey? All seemed fine 2 weeks ago. Yesterday, worms everywhere. Yeah, I have a whole video here on YouTube. Just type in David Burns small hive beetle, and I went very much in detail about the life cycle of the small hive beetle. And I will tell you this, in about 30 days, they can multiply to outrageous numbers, and you will be so disappointed. We've got to stay on top of small hive beetle. It's a lot easier to control the varroa destructor mite than it is small hive beetle. Once they get out of control in your hive, it's almost a lost cause. It really is. Sorry to hear that they slimed it. Oh, it's terrible. The larvae just worm their way through your honey and through everything, brood, everything. They eat everything. They're like little demons that you can't kill. You can soak them in alcohol. They laugh at you. It's terrible. And you don't want it to get to that point. How far will a swarm go from its original hive? Don't really know for sure. I think a very common distance is somewhere between probably 1.5 miles, 2 miles, but certainly further. So we don't, I'm sure somebody probably has a number, but I'm not sure. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Appreciate that tonight. Yeah, always great you guys supporting the cause. Orange before Chase. Yep. How many green drone combs should I add per hive? I got a green drone comb. It's in a cage back there. I would say start with 1 per deep box or per box and manage that. But if you do want to advance the attack on your mites and trap more, you could put 2. But remember, you're sacrificing 7,000 cells by removing one of your drone frames out for a green drone comb. And that may not bother you, may not. It certainly isn't going to hurt the hive that much to sacrifice 1 frame. You're just running a 9-frame box with a green drone comb trap in it. So people run 8 frames. So we're not going to hurt you to do that. I've ran 2 before to try to get mites under control, but one is good. 1 per box is good. That don't need one up in the super. Most mites are going to be around the nursery in the hive. Pete, how is your long hive doing? Any updates? Oh, okay. I've given updates on the horizontal Langstroth. This will be my 3rd update I've made, and 3rd time that I've said it failed in the winter. And I've never been too excited about getting bees through a horizontal hive in the wintertime. And I've talked to other people that are very brilliant. I had a discussion when I was speaking in Nevada with Randy Oliver and such. We talked about that too. And it's just tough. Bees don't navigate winter well in a horizontal hive because bees have to go between the frames to go up and down in a vertical natural orientation, like in a tree. Horizontal, a little tougher. You do see horizontal hives in warmer climates like Africa, where it's warm all the time around the equator. You see that, but you don't see that much in colder climates. But nonetheless, as soon as I say that, I will be reprimanded by the horizontal hive people that they tell me that they live in Antarctica and they overwinter thousands of horizontal hives every year without doing anything. So obviously I just can't do it, and they can. That's kind of my answer. I'm just maybe I don't give it enough care or attention. But I did put a new set of bees in there. I think I made a split or something. I put bees in there now, and they're off to another start. I'm going to try it again. I'm not giving up. The box is beautiful. Of course, I've got my Lands hive, and I have high hopes for that's a horizontal hive. Started my Lands hive this year, so high hopes for the Lands hive. Thanks, Brenda, for your super sticker tonight. Appreciate it, Brenda. Good job. Brad Marshall. Hey, Brad. Good to see you. Always like to see Brad hanging around here. How long after catching a swarm should you wait to mark your queen? I had a couple fly off and didn't come back. Oh, I see. Okay. Well, as soon as the colony is pretty much settled, got eggs, maybe larvae, some October brood, they're established, you're safe to mark the queen. But yeah, if you mark your queen right after you catch a swarm or trap a swarm, put it in a box or something, I don't think the mark did anything to make them leave. I just think they were already got another place picked out or something. But yeah, anytime they got some brood going on, you can mark them. That'd be fine. Yep, a lot of good questions tonight. All right. Hey, Mike, how are you doing? Coming out of winter, I have a weak hive and another hive that's exploding. Should I take out some brood and put in the weak hive, and should I split the exploding hive before they swarm? Well, you got a couple options there. You named them all. You can take some frames out of the exploding hive to strengthen your weak hive. I do that all the time. I carry the bees over. I don't take the bees off. Don't use newspaper. I like to grab a frame of capped over brood with bees on it because they're going to emerge any day and become worker bees right away. If I take over open larvae, then they have to play around and feed that larvae. A weak hive has to take care of all that larvae. That's hard on them. So be careful about that. Well, apparently it's time for our second giveaway. Our second giveaway tonight is for a coffee mug with my mug on it, by the way. And it's going to be #cup. #cup. So if you want to try for this coffee mug, it's going to be #cup. And this is the time for you. Look at that. Coffee time. Coffee time on the back and my mug on the other side. Okay. There you go. If you like my coffee time, you can keep watching my videos. I oftentimes have some coffee times available. So we're taking the comments now for #cup, taking the entries. Just leave a comment with #cup on it, and we'll send this right out to you. That way, when I have my next coffee time, you can enjoy a cup of coffee with me or hot tea or something. Or if you don't drink coffee or tea, you can fill it up with water and enjoy some water. You know what? The older I get, the faster time goes. My gosh. We still got a few more minutes here. We got about 7 minutes left and 59 minutes of fun. My bees are crawling on the ground in front of my hive. What could this be? Oftentimes we think of pest control poisoning, pest poisoning, something's going wrong there. It can also be things like disease could make them sick and they're walking around in front of your hive. You need to maybe call your bee inspector. If you live in a state that has bee inspectors, see if they can shed some light on it. Look on the inside. Is everything okay on the inside? Does the brood look okay? Does the larvae look good? See if you can assess what's going on there. David, if you don't have freezer space, what should you do with the green drone comb? You can scrape it off and feed it to the chickens. The chickens will love it. Or you can dispose of it, bury it in the ground, scrape it and burn it, something like that. Sally, thank you so much. Thank you, David, for helping us with our questions. We appreciate you and yours. Well, that's so nice of you, Sally. Appreciate it. Thanks for supporting the cause tonight. I do appreciate that. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and draw our winner tonight for this coffee mug. Who is going to be the winner tonight? All right, coffee. Oh, man, it's spinning. Oh, Derek Clausen is our winner. Derek, be sure and email us at longlanehoneybees@gmail.com within the next 24 hours, and they'll be sure and ship out this coffee mug. It's a good mug. It's not one of the cheap ones, so it should withstand being shipped to you, and you'll be able to get that cup and enjoy it. That's great. Yep, email us at longlanehoneybees@gmail.com. Appreciate it a lot. Be sure and give a thumbs up if you're enjoying this live stream. Many of you watch the live stream afterward. And if you're watching it after the live stream, that means that you don't need to try to win because the winning has already happened. Appreciate you watching it after a replay. I appreciate that as well. All right, we got time for 2 or 3 more questions before we sign off tonight. What we got? Let's get some good questions going. All right. Osprey Apiary. That's a cool name. Once you add your second deep box, will they stop drawing comb at the bottom of the frames? Stop drawing comb at the bottom of the frames. Well, I'm not sure exactly what you mean, but let me just explain it. When you have a deep box going really well and you add the second box to it, they're just going to start moving up there. They will keep drawing frames out in that lower deep, but they will just also start drawing them out in the top deep. So it kind of goes like this. They start spreading out in the bottom, and then they get into the top, and the whole thing just kind of grows like that. There we go. Perfect example. The bottom, let's see. Here we go. The bottom, the top, and then boom. Yeah, they'll take care of it. Yeah, don't worry about that. Yeah, that's cool. Can I clean old frames with bleach before reusing? Junebug. I'm not a crazy fan of doing that. There's not always the opportunity for us to kill a lot of the things that we think we're going to kill with bleach, especially some of the spores like American foul brood or European foul brood. Direct sunlight for several hours is a better method. I know we clean things with bleach around the kitchen and all, but it doesn't quite work that way in the beehive. Wood, if you use bleach on wood to kill things, it's better to use vinegar anyway. Bleach is more for porcelain to surfaces that don't have spores on, spores on it. Pores. I'm trying to say pores. Hey, Jennifer, that's the name of my oldest daughter. Hello, Davis. I'm Davis, by the way. When I type my name really fast, it comes out Davis, and I always have to go back and say David. How do we get rid of black ants in our hive? We are in Vermont. Oh, I'm so sorry. Black ants, the big ones? Man, that's tough. Carpenter ants really aren't too bad on bees. It's the red sugar ants that are the worst ones. Build a moat. Put your hive stand legs in water so ants can't walk across the moat, and try to get any branches that are hovering down over touching the hive not to fall in there as well. Thanks for the donation. I've been a B Team 6 member for a few years and use the Burns feeding system and your candy boards. I'd like to know you're out there. I appreciate you. Oh, good. Yeah, I'm out here, still kicking, still alive. Plan on being around a little while. I don't see anything in the forecast that says I won't be here, so I'm still around. All right, guys. Hey, I want to thank you all for being here tonight. I'll take this last question. With a hot hive, how can I remove virgin queen and combine a good swarm? Oh, you got a hot hive and a virgin queen. It may calm down once the virgin queen kind of gets going there. Um, Combine it with a swarm. I would use newspaper and see if that would do the trick. Newspaper. Always put your strong colony on the bottom, your combining hive on top, newspaper between with a couple of slits in it. See how that goes. Be sure and listen to my podcast on your favorite podcast app, Mysteries of Honeybees. I usually make a couple of podcasts each week. Some of those are reprints of either the live stream or some of my videos, but some of it is fresh content. So be sure and listen for that. I'm also going to be coming up on Bee Culture's Beekeeping Today with Jeff Oat, and so I've got that coming up, I think, next week maybe. So be sure and listen to their live stream as well. That was a fun thing to do with them. Yeah, I've got a lot going on. So if you really want to make a donation to our live stream, but you weren't sure how to do it on YouTube, you can always go to honeybeesonline.com. You can make a live stream from our donation from our website. And a lot of you do. After the live stream or during the live stream, a lot of you do go to the link that you see in the banner and make a donation. And again, we use your donations to support our live streams. It helps us be able to give things away for free. It supports that. And it supports all the effort that we put into it and the equipment needed to make it happen. So, most of you understand that it costs money to make things happen. That's all it is to it. And those of you that don't, try doing this for free and you won't be able to do it. So any donations that you give is, well, thank you. I appreciate it a lot. Yep. You can go to our website and make those donations. Also, as I leave tonight, I want to say I love you guys. I appreciate all of you so much. You guys are the best. This is the best group of beekeepers I've seen in a long time. I appreciate you being here every single night on Thursday night. Just a hoot being with you. It really is. So I want to thank you guys so much for your support. I feel like I've got a friend in you. I feel like you've got my back and I've got your back. I feel like we're good people. Yeah, we are. We're good people. And we're proud of what we do. We're happy about what we do. And we enjoy bees. We enjoy supporting the ecosystem, pollination. We enjoy honey. We enjoy being outdoors. We enjoy each other. So good for us. We're doing good, people. Okay. If you're worried tonight about your bees, I'm going to give you permission. Take the night off, take the rest of the night off from worry and just relax, have fun, and enjoy the evening. I love you guys. Good night. I'm going to see you next week.